It's a little bit of a sad day for a lot of Chicago fans. One of our favorites, Jordan Howard, has been traded. Although it might not even be fair to say that he was traded away. He was practically given away by our club, traded to the Philadelphia Eagles for a sixth round pick that could possibly be a fifth round pick, which is where, of course, the Bears nabbed him when they drafted him a few years ago. And it's tough trying to come to grips with what's going on because Jordan Howard is a great player. I will still die on the hill that you can win football games with Jordan Howard. He is the kind of guy who's a great runner, the kind of guy that you just got to feed the ball a little bit and he'll win you some games. But here's the thing. I understand that Matt Nagy doesn't believe that he's a perfect fit for the system, which of course is something that a lot of Chicago fans will be a little reticent to hear, especially after we've seen Greg Olsen dominate in Carolina for so long because Mike Martz couldn't find a way to fit him into his offense. Oh, I don't play with the tight end. I got to trade away Greg Olsen, which was one of the most ridiculous things of all times. One of the worst trades ever, at least from a Bears perspective. I can't think of a bigger giveaway than trading away an absolute stud like Greg Olsen. So anytime a coach is like, well, I don't know if he fits my system, I'm going to be like, you know what? Screw your system. Make your good players work for you. But you know what? I understand where he's coming from, and it's not like he's an offensive coordinator like Mike Martz was. Matt Nagy is the head coach, and I think he's earned a little bit of equity with us because of the great job that he did in his first season with the Chicago Bears. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt, even though I'm supremely disappointed. And that's the thing that we can do. We as fans can actually sit here and be disappointed. We can miss Jordan Howard. We can draft him on our fantasy teams. It just means he's not going to be running for the Chicago Bears. And at some point, we can be upset. We can say that we're going to miss him. We can put our post up on Instagram, which, by the way, you can follow me at Adam Rank NFL. You can do all that stuff, but at some time, we have to move forward, and that's what the Bears are going to be doing. That's what we need to be doing. So right now, I feel like as the months turn to April, it's time to start looking forward. You know, no more looking back. We appreciate everything Jordan Howard did. You know, and I think one of the biggest things, too, is that he was our guy during the doldrums of the John Fox era. Like, that was the one guy that we could rely on. He was our stud. He was our workhorse. He was helping us win games. Not a lot of them, but he was helping us win games. So now let's move forward. I think who we should be excited for is Mike Davis coming in from Seattle. I know that when the Bears signed him, a couple of my friends who root for the Seahawks were kind of pissed. And I think that's the best way to kind of look back at how well you're doing with a trade is like, are your friends of opposing teams pissed? Because at least if you're an Eagles fan, they got to feel pretty good about Jordan Howard because all the Bears fans were certainly morose about that move. Similarly, a lot of my Seahawks buddies upset that Mike Davis was able to get away, and I think he's going to be a pretty good addition to this Bears offense. Now, one of the things that I will say about Jordan Howard is that when he was in the game for the Bears last year, the offensive play calling was very predictable, and I don't know if that's on Nagy or if that's on Jordan. Perhaps they should have tried to throw him the ball a little bit more, give him a little bit more of a chance to go out there and prove himself as a receiver. But whatever the case, the offense was very predictable with Jordan Howard. It's not going to be that way with Mike Davis. And one of the cool things about Davis is last year, he averaged 4.8 yards per carry, and that's 5.0 up the gut. They really like a lot of his advanced metrics, which show that he was able to make opposing defenders miss, created his own opportunities, and he's also a nice little receiver out of the backfield. Even me, as a hardcore Jordan Howard fan, I might have to admit Mike Davis might be a little bit of a better receiver. I don't think that Jordan was given enough of an opportunity. Whatever. We can argue those points forever. But I think the main thing is that I'm upset, but I'm excited about the opportunity for Mike Davis. And I think the one thing I really like about what this team has been doing during the offseason is that they're still moving forward. Too many times, these teams will get to a point and you're like, hey, we won the division. We're good. Like, we don't really have to worry about too much stuff. There's 20 returning starters. Let's not make any moves. But the Bears have been out there and they've been proactive. Now, they haven't made anything that's made us jump off the couch like the Khalil Mack trade. But at the same time, they put together some solid moves that should help improve this team going forward. And I know a lot of the Packers fans like to get a lot of wind in their jaw and talk about like, oh, you guys are going to go back to the bottom of the barrel. It's like, where have you been, Green Bay? How have you been doing over the last couple of years? And now you're bringing in Matt LaFleur, who I'm sure is a nice guy. He's a guy who got a job because he once was in a carpool with Sean McVay. That is your guy. His play calling in Tennessee, while it might not have been his fault, he was still the same guy who wasn't giving the ball to Derrick Henry last year. Not until the end of the season. So I'm not really too impressed with you, Matt LaFleur, so you guys can just cram it. But I think ultimately we're getting off point right now. But we should just, you know what, celebrate Jordan Howard for the next couple of hours. But once we get to April, it's going to be looking forward to this team, embracing the guys that are on this squad, looking forward to the draft, even though we don't have a first-round draft pick. That's okay. We have Khalil Mack. I think that's still working out well for us. So I'm ready to move forward. I'm going to miss you, Jordan Howard. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Go kick ass for the Eagles. I'll have you on my fantasy team. I hope you win me a title there. And I hope the Bears will get a lot out of Mike Davis and this offense as we look forward to back-to-back NFC North championships. Bye.